Okay, let's continue our rob trader then.
Oh, this master-crafted patellar augment is not fit for a servitor. Marching on.
That wasn't so difficult.
The corpses were mutilated by the force far beyond any mortal capacity. The faces are twisted in pain, and the hands are fused with improvised weapons, tools, scissors, and cutlery.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Hydra, white, bright pure color, and it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying? She's weird, isn't she?
This ocular implant was a worthwhile.
Would you look at that?
Duty prevails.
Magenta doing her job.
I better myself through my service.
Let's do some fighting then.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows.
We are the spearhead of the Imperium.
I dare not provoke the whispers.
Stand firm, we must not let the Fire at will for House Orselio.
Run, fools! Or fall!
Purge them!
On it.
Nice.
Will do. But of course.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. As the Emperor commands, I act. I refuse. I will not. Eradicated.
Argenta is killing it.
At your beck and call. I took care of this one. Follow my lead. I will do my duty. One fewer target. I've suffered worse.
Sucker.
Will do.
High momentum.
Was that you? Or...
Faith without deeds is worthless. I am his will made manifest. Strike is a prayer. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. That is not the Emperor's will. Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. This is why I was chosen. It's nothing.
Just a minor setback. A tactically sound approach. Indeed. I'm not interested. At your beck and call.
Really?
I took care of this one.
Cover me! What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Cuts and cracks appear on his skin. Intercept the conversation between security officers. Tremendous honor, yes, but this promotion will transfer the entire squad to the child personal guard. But the God Emperor, well, you are the strapping lad. You will probably make it for a cycle of 3. It has worn down better men than me. What even is the point if your brain's turned into mush? I mean, you rip out my eyes like Amos did. At best, I'll just go bonkers like that little shit stain that kept stealing our little hoe. Oh, what happened to that one? Threw himself out of the pressurized chamber because some voice told him to. Calm down. Keeper Felix said the squad will not have to serve the child for long. He even gave us a little leeway. Unlike the fish-eyed, be quiet, he might hear you. Well, you know what I mean. He almost busted our heads because someone forgot to check the catering unit. We haven't let in a single outsider in over 10 years, but Keeper Theobald keeps finding things to fret over. Imagine the shrieking if he finds out Keeper Felek didn't make us inspect the handler after Lord Winterscale's most recent visit. Theodore forbade. I tried to steer clear of the squabbles among the highborn. Some of the Keeper Felek orders make little sense, like the last time he commanded that we cut off communication with Rykard Minoris for a while. Why would he do that? It looked like he grew tired of the Winterscale science visit. Well, it's always a pleasure to aid Keeper Felek. That's right. If the Highborn have grown tired of each other, let them deal with it. The library is full of treatises by the most distinguished scholars of the Imperium, from Astra Militarium tacticians to adept mechanicus genitors. The Lady Navigator statue looks pristine and new.
Light of terror, guide our way.
Pontius Severus Gelasius, on a trading of worthy servants at the court of Navis nobilite. A good major demo attempts to nurture only the finest of flowers in a garden that is their master's life. Therefore, new seed for the garden must be weeded out with the utmost care so that the garden stream may yield the sweetest fruit. The lesson below will help you to separate the precious seeds from the vile thorns to cultivate the perfect garden for any lady navigators. Lesson 1. A faithful servant always makes sure the mistress' rooms and garments are clean. Lesson 2. A faithful servant will never offer the mistress the same dress presented earlier in a cycle. Lesson 3. A faithful servant offers the mistress a glass of fresh water upon walking. Lesson 4. A faithful servant tastes each dish and every drink before serving to the mistress. Lesson 5. A faithful servant will have mastered the art of styling the mistress' hair to the time that 5 servants can spend on arranging the mistress's coiffure should not exceed 3 revolutions of the chronometer. Lesson 6. A faithful servant lies for the mistress and gladly gives the life for her as well. Lesson 7. A faithful servant.
I'll warn you if I hear anything.
Data crypt. Whatever that is. Statue of the famous Galician sculptor and chronicle Zacharias Vernon the Magnificent, the 23rd year of this millennium. Original.
What deeds await us?
Indeed, what deeds await us? Interesting.
The sooner we start. Experience. Nothing matters more.
Most of these unfortunate souls took their own lives by slitting their guts wide open.
Whatever you wish.
Meteorite chunk.
I go where the whispers lead.
The heavy door is secured by sophisticated mechanical lock. There must be a way to unlock it from somewhere else.
never doubt me.
Dan Warp, if we'd been in real space, I have heard I'd have...
Idira, stop castigating yourself. Your soothsayings have always been vague. Even if you had her, who among us would have realized that it was Lady Theodora who was in peril? Over there!
The future is never certain.
Brace yourself, Abelard. Sometimes you consult the appropriate treatise on Tactica Imperialis and weigh every step. Sometimes, though, you just fire your biggest cannon and save the day.
Something ominous lurks ahead.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
The light of terror shines for us.
This master-crafted patella augment is not fit for a servitor.
Do you hear the screams? Move. See, are you alright? We can't hear anything. Now I see you are in league with them. It is an insurrection. Yes, indeed. Death to the traitors. See what you're doing. Hold yourself, sir. I know you're all traitors. Traitors, all of you. They told me. They whispered. Hey, who are you? Research notes of Navy's Laboratorium Custodian Fortunata or Salino, Part 13. Keeper Theobald graciously agreed to provide samples of his skin growths so we could study the influence of the rebellious Immaterium on the flesh of the Navis Nobile. Just as we thought, navigators are positively resistant to the restless currents of the warp. The God Emperor truly does shield some people against corruption and misery. But let us get back to the study of mortal flesh. Another servant will be carried in shortly. I must ready the organ extraction equipment. Adamantine dust and black water. This was the worst idea that could have entered my mind. God Emperor be praised. I'm lucky to still have my head on my shoulders after this reckless experiment. Nevertheless, we did make an important discovery. The adamantine seems to protect the frail flesh of the lowborn to a degree. Having said that, not even the macerator can handle its temper, so we should probably introduce a more complex compound into the formula. All of the data related to the experiment were recorded to a data crypt K04OH. I will get back to them later once I'm done with experiment. Have I mentioned that the chunk of meteorite found by Keeper Felix is completely useless? Although its shining granules could be used to make new paints for the child, yes, I think I'm going to do exactly that. For some reason, the arch-enemy Twisted Influence has found its way into the station. A sheet of paper with a drawing of a tall woman and a dark-eyed monster painted with fresh blood. Lovely. Wolf has had his tongue cut off just like the rest of the lesser servants of House Auxilia.
Marching on.
Awaken. The cogitator vid screen is covered in cracks and stained with dried blood. The buttons, switches and levers were ripped out of the control panel with exceptional cruelty and scattered around the sacred mechanisms that now sparks and hisses in agony, still refusing to perish. Awaken. You turn a few of the remaining dials and pull the activation lever. The cracked vid screen on of the sacred engine flickers. The cogitator inside emits creaks and groans, and the lumens oscillate at random. It takes a while, but eventually the machine spirits do grant you access to the cogitator system. Request data on the station's navigators. After a brief pause, the data appears on the vid screen. Felek Orsilio location, main hall, status alive. Theobald Orsilio location, upper chambers, status alive. Calomira Orsilio location, upper chambers, status deceased. Alexis Orselino location, lower level, status deceased. Ramus Estefan Orsilio location unknown, status deceased. The child location, upper chamber, biometric parameters, rapid heartbeat, elevated body temperature, stress level exceed the permissible limit, status unknown, error, attention, calming procedure advised, attention, upper chamber inaccessible, error, the control rod is not present. If the rod has been misplaced, immediately contact the station keeper or a Navis laboratorium custodian. Okay, let's examine some logs. The archive data stored on the cogitator local data crypt is partially corrupted, but you still manage to access the residual logs for examination. View Vox report. Vox recording hisses for some time before you hear a voice. This is Officer A282. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower levels. Chambers A2D are unpowered. The tech priest crew sent to investigate the problem is not responding. Requires sting backup. The officer's speech is interrupted by shouting and the recording absolutely ends. Officer H123 speaking. 207 have perished due to explosive decompression of the living quarters. We've located traces of mechanical interference. The primary cause is officer sabotage. Crews 5, 6 and 9 are cut off from the main compartment. We have enough oxygen for 20 minutes. May the Emperor save our souls. Senior Station Officer, this is the Captain speaking. We attempt to contact the Winter Scale Scion for help, but something is jamming the signal. We never received a reply. I cannot be sure it was even sent in the first place. A rescue team is not coming. We are on our own, so remain vigilant. Anyone could be a traitor. You hear me? Anyone. If you are in doubt, shoot to kill. The following Vox recording are too badly distorted to make out even a single word. Okay, examine the recent entries of the incident log. Report X880, originator classified, date classified. The servants close to the child have started butchering one another again. An order came from above to have their remains reprocessed. Report X8886, originator classified, date classified, date classified. The negotiations with the Winter Scales were a success. A new batch of servants will arrive in 10 moons. Escort them to the laboratory at once. It is imperative that we increase the new retainers' resistance to the child's power. Report X891, originator classified, date classified, data expunged. Examine the station docking log. The log is almost completely corrupted, but you managed to recover the last entry. Identity confirmed. Regent Aronto Orselio. Date to visit classified. Reason for visit classified. Date of departure classified. So he was the last one to come in. Regent Aronto Orselio. Examine the security and life support logs. The yellow light above the control panel flickers to life and a singular repeating message streams down the vid screen. Warning, the damage is in technical compartment A12, B3, D8 and H24 detected. Warning, living quarters L10, L16, L28 depressurized. Warning, unable to access the station docking system. Warning, emergency regulation system unknown error. The station will transfer over to emergency power. Immediate evacuation of facility is advised. Warning. Let's have a look at the encrypted data. Something buzzing in the cogitator and metallic gut. Several red lumens light up above the vid screen. Required access level security captain or above. Current access level senior security officer. Okay, you easily bypass the restriction imposed on the sacred machine. The cogitator's overloaded processor will, unhappily. Most of the encrypted data has been wiped. You find traces of the purge protocol. Recovery is impossible, but a list of the most recent commands having been embedded in the machine's spirit consciousness now fits across the screen in a single creeping line. Child delete picked flow disable access code. Annual station controls delete to activate shuttle self-destruct purge command log. Exploring the archives for a while longer yields surviving except from the ground captain report monitoring that the security system had recently been reconfigured without his knowledge. His comment reads, only the keepers of the station have access to the life support system. But Keeper Theobald had not left the child's side, neither had I. Could it be that? Switch to the main chamber's control. The cogs within the sacred machine slowly start turning with heavy grinding and clanking. The tired machine spirit grants you access to the station control, or at least its parts still obey the cogitator. Open all doors on the level. The cogitator's vid screen goes dark as if machine spirit had fled the machination casket, but your assumption is correct, as it fills with static just a few moments later. You can barely make out an inscription amidst the flow of rapidly changing symbols. Warning, data corrupted and processing, error. The cogitator takes a few moments to gather data from the activity system. According to the report, this door has already been opened. You push few buttons on the central panel, but the system rebels and keeps resetting your command. According to the data, the compartment you are trying to open is depressurized. The cogitator takes a few moments to gather the data from the station active systems and produces the following message. The protocol has been executed, the passage has been opened. Nice. We've got two passages open. The cogitator does the same thing. A few manipulators with the switches make you realize the elevator of the upper chambers is blocked. Activate the elevator. Person's query confirmed. Nice. The vid screen blinks and the mechanism in the machine core emits a quiet hum. Don't want to help. Just need to be as quiet as possible. No one needs to know that we've even been here.
A nice little stroll. If such is the Emperor's will.
Heresy has found its way into the walls of the esteemed house. It is a black day for the Navis Nebulae.
An expected result.
Synthetic amniotics fluid pools across the floor. Barely discernible traces stretch to the sides opposite the entrance.
Hey, what's that?
The caustic stretch of region says your nostrils were broken, glass scratches on the food. Somebody wanted to destroy the laboratory or find something. Laboratory Journals H4045LX Experimental Section The Child Influence on the Psycho-Emotional State of Various Representatives of the Imperium Access Level Orsilio T Prime Experiment H4545-1 Subgroup Low-Born Male Text subject exhibits signs of acute stress. The majority perished of blood loss within a day of being placed in a laboratory chamber due to the inability to hold the discharge of ocular secretions, tears, and the body's subsequent replacement of this secretion with the connective tissue is an internal environment. The individuals with the greatest resilience to the sacred child's resonance died several chronoturns later. Extensive wounds in the abdomen, presumably inflicted by a jagged piece of metal. Death was caused by strangulation with a subject's own intestines. The subject's family showed exhibits concerns of abominable tentacles and void worms. Hallucination prescribed to their own integral organs. Experiment H4 545-2 subgroup low-born female. The test subject died within an hour of entering the laboratory adjacent to the child's chambers. Most had their tongues bitten off or their jaws badly dislocated. Some test subject lacks the physical strength to separate it from the rest of the skull. Cause of death: severe head injuries caused by impacting the walls or the floor. Experiment H4545-3 subgroup a paralyzed patient who lost the ability to speak due to the shock caused by the manufacturing accident male. The test subject noted a tingling sensation in a deteriorated tissue. During Regent Aronto Oselius' visit to the child, the test subject smiled and started humming, most likely trying to carry some plebeian tune, and then attempted to address the servant who brought him food. A lengthy conversation was prohibitive due to the servant's lack of a tongue. Experiment H4545-4 subgroup a defective offspring of Lord P. Orselio, pronounced unfit for studying the night art of navigation, owing to the mutation of tissues required for installation of the obligatory augmentation that merge one consciousness with the vessel. Additionally, they display an overall feebleness of mind. Female. The test subject mirrored the child action for 3 days. On the 4th day, the child became upset after hearing the news about the untimely demise of Amos Cantarelli, an officer of a personal guard. As a result, one of the test subjects peeled away several layers of tissue from her face and died from the resulting massive heart attack. The last surviving test subject was executed for attempting to contact the child. They all just loot their minds. Please don't kill me. Research notes of Navis Laboratorium Custodium Fortunata Orselino Part 12. More and more servants are being influenced by the Immaterium, and it has nothing to do with the child's more frequent tantrums. We've discovered that the corrupted flesh of the mutated reacts most unusually to the crystals we purchased from the Winterscale dynasty. I strongly recommend finely grinding the reagent to catalyze the reaction. Do not use acid under any circumstance. Trust me, you will not like having to tend to the burns for the next dozen turns in a row. This calls for something more basic. One more thing. The tech priest blessed the data crypt H-41-OK for the calculated number of chronoturns, which means it is no longer necessary to remain near the device while waiting for the reactions to start. The data crypt H-40-KO manufactured over the course of our research. I should remind the technomats to deliver the sacred mechanism into Dagos and Gyokju's capable hands.
Blessed be the road that we take.
Say no more.
Onward!
Okay, let's remake the control rod.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Felix Rosselló looks a little better. His tangled hair is now neatly braided, his wounds are tied bandage, and there is some healthy color under his scales on his cheek. You dealt with the threat and powered the elevator. Well done. I trust you brought the activation rod as well. Remember, every second of hesitation may cost my mistress a life. Idria suddenly cocks her head and drives her nails deep into her shoulder. Then she starts mumbling. The crossroads. There are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. They all wear masks so poor and flimsy they fall at the slightest touch. One hiding a blind man, another a traitor. Who is who? Who do you see behind the masks? My whisperers are giggling nastily. They will not speak the naughty little things. They said that tearing of the mask is your concern. Tell me more about those paths. I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith, the other with hatred and treachery. Both leads to tragedy. You simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like the most. Thank you. I didn't understand a single word. Idra nods tiredly and glances at Felek out of the corner of her eye. This station has enough problems without you, sorceress psyker. Felek waves Idra off and looks at you expectantly. Hand the key over. Felek exhales loudly and smiles. Thank you, rogue trader. I don't even know what to say. Status and honor prevents me from admitting it before now, but you have awakened hope in me. Hope that I may actually leave the station together with the mistress, which is why I'm about to ask one last favor of you. The lowly insurgents got their hands on a weapon that surpasses my navigator's power. Their absence makes me a living target, but this weapon is useless against you, as is the bunch of lunatics wielding it. I humbly ask you to deal with the scum huddling upstairs and hurry to adorn my mistress with the relic of our house, a sacred amulet against all evil. Recent events have badly disturbed Lady Cassia's psyche, and warp entities always last for weaker souls, especially when the veil grows thin. You too will be safe next to this charm. And what will I get in return? You will get everything you wanted, a loyal navigator and the undying gratitude of House Rosselló. If you turn out to be a lousy navigator after all this effort, I'll personally feed you to Void Kraken, just so we're clear. Felix smiles softly and appears relaxed and almost calm. If everything goes as planned, you will not have to worry about such things. You are going to need this charm. Felix hands you a precious stone without a setting. Its luminous surface remains gold to the touch no matter how long you hold it in your hand. And may the God Emperor light be with you.
Carry the Emperor's will as your torch.
The pale figure with unnaturally long limbs stands with her arms raised, her hands deformed with talon-like nails. Her deathly pale face is coated with blood that continues to stream from her scarlet misted eyes. Her spinning gills, slightly hidden under her disheveled hair, twitch nervously as you approach. Only now do you notice the third eye on the young woman's forehead, hidden by a jeweled ornament. And when your eye meets, you sense Warhammer's soul smoldering power. You are enveloped in despairing grief, and an invisible hand closes around your throat, cutting off your breath. Your limb seems to fill with lead. Your heart hammers in your chest, and a desire to turn and flee from this room, from this station, almost gets the better of you. At the last moment, you master your emotion, and your will pushes back against the illusion, forcing you to retreat. Idra emits something between a moan and a drawn-out whimper. Ow, 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 ow. As if my own little pals weren't bad enough, now this one's barging into my head. Somebody stop her. Heresy. A gentle look at the tall figure with a strange mixture of anger and sadness. Then she lowers her head and her white hair veils her face. Abelard, is this? Lady Cassia, I presume? The seneschal stares in Lady Navigator's direction with a full-away look, then turns sharply away and awkwardly wipes at the eye. By the Emperor, if you do not stop your sorcery immediately, I will shoot you in the head. She welly shakes her head and lets out a drawn-out sound similar to both a sob and a howl of a smaller wood animal. What is happening? What? Was someone calling my name? Are all the betrayers dead already? And you? Who are you? My presence was requested by your faithful servant, Felek Orselio. Felek? Did he? Cassia's crimson eye widened, but you cannot say whatever out of fear or surprise. What is this? I feel faint. The heavy-set old man who has been kneeling nearby erupts into low sobs, his eyes swollen from crying, darts desperately around the room, as though the veil of ignorance has just been ripped away from them. The child, Ledley Cassia, where are you? Sacred child, throne preserve. Despite his venerable age, the navigator leaps up and rushes to the young woman's side. You, the old man shifts, revealing his face to you. It is threaded with jet black veins, and his bulging milky eyes bear striking resemblance to those of a dead fish. A sickly sweet scent assaults your nostrils as if the old man's flesh is rotting inside his decayed husk. My eyes fail me, for they are unable to make you out as either enemy or ally. I'm warning you, one wrong move will bring the wrath of the House of Cillion down upon your head. Watch out, Lord Captain. This one's so deranged it's making the whispers shriek like crazy. He must just open the eyes of his. Threatening the head of dynasty is a grave offense, esteemed whoever you are. Abelard places a hand on his weapon. Well, I am trying to figure out what is happening here. I'll grant you that you do look like pirates, you do not look like pirates who have come coveting the riches of the wreck station, or like scoundrels in Felek's service. So who are you? Nensis von Valencius, rock trader. Another rock trader in our corner of the galaxy. How interesting. Your kind always make an appearance in desperate times, ready to cut a deal that benefits one side alone. Given that you have not so far drawn your weapon, your intentions are probably peaceful, and so House Orselio now asks a service of you. Save the life of the child in exchange for future cooperation. Do not hurry to answer, think on it. You can make yourself an ally or an enemy of the house today, you decide. What is this curse that's taken hold of everyone in this room? Theobald frowns. Curse? You do not understand the sacred gift given to our child. When the child is sad, we all weep. When the child smiles, we all laugh giddily. And if the child wants blood, the world turns crimson. The child's will is the will of the great Tisiphone, for she is the heir of House Rosilio. And they call me dangerous with my witchcraft, Idra mutters under her breath. You look frightening. The fish eye looks at you with unwavering dignity. You were not supposed to see me, or Felek, or the second child. Navigators are highly paid for their loyal service to the Imperium, according to his will. None dare judge the guides of humanity, the chosen of the Galactic Sovereign himself. So what has happened between you and Felek then? Felek is my wayward student. He came to Urak 5 as a callow youth. I personally mentored him and entrusted him with the care of the child. He was like son to me, but he proved to be just another traitor. He sought to steal our most precious treasure, the heir of the house, our second child, to revel in power with others like him, casting our house into the abyss, to prevent the centuries-long tradition of our family. You can see the fruits of this villainy for yourself. He decided he was not bound by his duties to the legacy of the greatest of our navigators, Tisiphone or Celio, who led our house to prosperity for countless years. Foolish boy. The renegades clouded his mind. They sought to seize control of the dynasty before the second child had come of age and taken up the navigator's throne. So choose whatever side you are on, a murderer, traitor, or the lawful scion of the noble house. Theobald speaks those words softly, looking at the unconscious young woman with reverence. So Felek accused you of treachery, Theobald. Why should I trust your words? Defending myself before a stranger, I never thought I would fall so low. The old man looks at the unmoving Cassia and shakes his head in resignation. If the child's lives were not at stake, very well, I have no choice or proof of my innocence. I can give you my word as a mentor of the Navis Nobile. If the honest world and an honorable man counts for nothing with you, I guarded this station against calamity and incursions from without to the best of my ability. I forced the wardens to strictly observe security protocols. I personally selected every servant, and I faithfully protected the child during the coup. And how could you lose control of the station? Do not thrust my errors in my face. I am twice your age, and twice as wise. Take my advice, trust no one but yourself and the Emperor. Even those closest to you will betray you for gold, power, or a far-fetched idea of a bright future. So, what service? Well, Felek betrayed you, betrayed the Emperor. Let's do away with him together. Theobald dips his head in favor of a proposition. Allies are always welcome, even temporary ones. I will revive the child. Do not be alarmed. The power of our Rosilio heir will help us to destroy our enemies and shield us from Felek Navigator forces. But you, rest for a time before the battle.
The sooner we start,